Thank you for watching and listening to this presentation regarding the boundary process for Northeast Philadelphia K-5 and K-8 schools. Northeast Philadelphia School District has experienced steadily increasing enrollment for the past 5 years, averaging about 2% growth. This growth is anticipated to continue to grow at the 2% rate for the next 5 years. Most of this growth has been experienced at schools like Brown, Forest, Holme, Mayfair, Meehan, and Pollock. Due to this growth, the School District of Philadelphia conducted several community meetings to solve the issue of capacity and utilization due to the growth in Northeast Philadelphia. As a result, it was decided with community feedback to build a new K-8 school at the Lincoln-Meehan campus. Because of this, Forest will be truncated from a K-6 to a K-5 school, providing some capacity relief for Forest, and the students will attend the new school from 6th to 8th grade. Brown, Holme, and Pollock will be expanded from K-6 to K-8 school facilities, and Mayfair will remain a K-8. Because the building of a new elementary school will impact enrollment, a study is underway to project future enrollment and recommend a new boundary for these schools. To facilitate this process of demographic and enrollment projection and boundary study, the School District of Philadelphia released an RFQ for qualified firms to help facilitate this process. Cooperative Strategies, a nationally recognized planning and demographic firm, was selected to conduct this study. Also included in the team are the local representatives of Portfolio Associates, led by Mrs. Beverly Harper, a product of Philadelphia Public Schools and a lifelong resident of Philadelphia. The enrollment study will be a comprehensive demographic analysis of Northeast Philadelphia that uses data to create a new catchment area for the new K-8 school. This data will include data types such as student and population demographics, a capacity study of each of the facilities impacted. We'll conduct projections for enrollment for the next 5 and 10 years. We'll look at transportation and geographic analysis of the Northeast Philadelphia School District, and then engage the community in helping us make decisions when it comes to new boundaries and utilization of schools. The result will be a new catchment area for the new school that were presented to the school board by the superintendent. The process will use a system-level analysis to look at the enrollment, projected enrollment, and the capacity at the schools impacted, Mayfair, Forest, Brown, Pollock, and Holme, which will balance the needs of each individual school and the community as a whole in Northeast Philadelphia. When we add a new school, a new boundary will have to be established, thus impacting the schools on this map. A look at the historical enrollment from 2011 to 2018 indicates a growth of total student population of over 2,000 students. Charter school enrollment has increased 19%, and overall student enrollment has increased 24% in this region. Along with student growth has come an increase in student diversity. Over the last 7 years, the proportion of Asian and Hispanic Latino students has increased. The proportion of white students has decreased from 46.5% to just under 30% in Northeast Philadelphia. This map indicates student density in different parts of Northeast Philadelphia. The areas of purple show more density of students, where the lighter blue shows less density of students. This includes all students, both charter and district, in Northeast Philadelphia. One of the schools most impacted by this growth is Mayfair attendance area. As can be seen on this map, there are a total of 2,337 students that live in this boundary. Of those students, 163 transfer out, while 41 transfer in. This is called a live-attend analysis. Mayfair has seen significant enrollment growth in the last 10 years, and with the current rate of growth is it expected to increase to over 2,500 students in the next 5 years. Mayfair Elementary only has a capacity of 1,060 and a current enrollment of 1,922. There have been previous investments into this school building to accommodate some of the growth, but the growth has clearly outgrown the capacity of this building. As a result of this plan, Meehan Middle School will be discontinued as use of a facility in the district. However, this map shows the number of middle school students that live and attend and how many students transfer out and then transfer into the current Meehan Middle School. By the increase of enrollment grade configurations at 3 of the 5 schools, this will absorb middle school enrollment and create new K-8 elementary schools in the Northeast region. Forest Elementary is another elementary school that has experienced growth in the last 5 years. Currently, there are approximately 1,759 students that live in this boundary. Of those, 1,264 are public school students. As seen on the map, 171 transfer out of this boundary and 72 transfer in. Due to the growth in the forest boundary, enrollment has exceeded the capacity of the facility and is continuing to grow for the next 5 years. Currently, the grades K through 6 will be changing to a K5 configuration, with students in grades 6 through 8 attending the new elementary K-8 school on the Lincoln-Meehan campus. Brown Elementary has a total of 900 students that live in its boundary, with 637 students that are district enrolled students. Of those, 76 transfer out and 44 transfer in. Brown Elementary is another school that's been impacted by growth, with its enrollment of 605 outpacing its capacity of 555. Currently, the school is a K-6 grade configuration, but will be changing to a K-8, will only increase the enrollment of this school facility. Therefore, Brown will have to be balanced with the new school built on the Lincoln-Meehan campus. Holm is another school that may be impacted by the new school on the Lincoln-Meehan campus. There are approximately 900 students that live in this boundary. Of those, 612 are district students. You can see that the transfer out rate almost equals the transfer in rate for Holm Elementary. Holm Elementary will change from a K-6 to a K-8 grade configuration, which is anticipated to impact the utilization of the school based on growing the grades to grades 7 and 8 into the capacity of 835 of the school facility. The final school we'll be talking about is Pollock, which has approximately 900 students that live in its boundary. Of those, 648 are district students, with 66 transferring out and approximately 70 students transferring in. Despite the growth in the Northeast area, Pollock has experienced flat to decline in enrollment the last 10 years, but mostly this has occurred in the last 3 years. The capacity of the facility is 690 with an enrollment of 652. It's anticipated that changing the grade configuration from K-6 to K-8 will directly impact the utilization of this facility and be overutilized, thus demanding the need for a boundary enrollment balance with the new elementary school on the Lincoln and Meehan site. In order to go through a boundary process, it's important to develop a set of guiding principles to draw new attendance areas that are supported by the community. After this presentation, you'll be able to take a survey to get your feedback and measure how our options will be developed based on the criteria and guidelines supported by the community. We have developed 5 guiding principles we would like your feedback on. The 5 guiding principles are as follows. Feel free in your survey to add any other guiding principles you think will be important when developing new boundaries for these schools. The first is to balance the utilization. Looking at the 5 elementary schools that will be impacted, how do we maintain an acceptable utilization based on the facility capacity? The next guiding principle will be to minimize future disruption. It is key in a boundary process that we minimize the number of students that will be impacted by a boundary process. Walking distance and time are important in the city of Philadelphia, where students often walk to school and it is their primary mode of transportation of how to get to school. As well as these student travel times, population patterns should be considered in assigning students to elementary schools. Another guiding principle may be to maintain diversity, ensuring that new boundaries do not adversely impact the diversity that has been created due to the growth in Northeast Philadelphia. Also, creating safe routes and making sure that the boundaries promote safe routes to schools by limiting the number of natural and human-made physical boundaries the students must cross to get to and from school. Understand, however, that when deciding which guiding principles are most appropriate when developing boundaries, some may come in conflict with each other. So consider how some of these guiding principles affect one another and which items are most important to you. For example, you may be able to achieve balancing and utilization perfectly across the Northeast, but this will be at a detriment to the walking distance and time because you would have to send students to school that have the capacity. Also, we may be able to impact less students with a boundary change today, but this could be at the detriment of minimizing future impact. Therefore, we might have to do boundaries and a boundary process sooner than later if we ignore the guiding principle. As part of this process, the facilitators and the district are working with a redistrict committee meeting that consists of 2 members from each of the elementary schools impacted, which includes parents and principals and district officials. This group serves as an advisory role to review the data and options and to help make a recommendation to the board. To access the survey to the boundary process or to submit any questions you may have for the process or enrollment, you can visit the project website, which is located on the school district website, and follow the following link. We'd like to thank you for watching and listening to this presentation and encourage you to stay up to date on the process by checking the website and talking to your local school principal who will be apprised of the process moving forward. Thank you again.